Hello, my name is Richard Gould. I'm a professor at McGill University's Faculty of Law, where I teach intellectual property and innovation. And I'm also the Chief Policy and Partnerships Officer at Conscience, which is a nonprofit company that is supporting firms and universities and others to advance open science drug discovery. Out of all the intellectual property rights I deal with, I think the main one would be patents, but also regulatory exclusivities. These are not traditionally packaged as intellectual property, but they serve the same function. They're what you get when you apply to a drug regulator for approval to sell a drug. They're not allowed to provide approval to any other company, usually a generic, for a period, depending on the country, of 5 to 12 years. So it serves the same purpose as a patent. Those are the two main forms I deal with, although I dabble in copyright and trademarks as well. In terms of challenges, the biggest challenge, especially in the university setting, is the mythology around patents in particular. Any researcher who has a new idea is told, go get a patent and then we'll commercialize it. But often that actually doesn't make any sense. If you have a rare disease, for example, that you're dealing with, where there are a few hundred people suffering from it, getting a patent is useless because a patent only works when there's a market for that product. Similarly, if you're dealing with something like antimicrobial resistance, where there is a huge market, but we don't know when it's going to happen. It might happen next year, it might happen in 10 years, it might happen in 30 years. There's really nothing the patent system can do to get you to invest. And so we often think about just getting intellectual property rather than thinking about what do I need to do or where do I want to go and how do I use the tools, which include patents and regulatory exclusivities, copyrights, trademarks, etc., sometimes just secrecy, in order to achieve my goal. So I guess the number one problem is that people jump to the conclusion about patents without actually working through what is this invention I've come up with, how can I best mobilize it? In terms of capacity building, there is a great need for people to understand what a patent is, its limitations, its advantages, but also the other forms of intellectual property. That is, they need to learn how to think from a management point of view, what is the best use of the thing I've come up with, and how do I achieve that? And that requires an understanding of patents, copyrights, trademarks, regulatory exclusivities, and their limitations so that I can make a choice that actually reflects where I want to go.